What's up, guys? It's your boy Rich here, finally back with Bangalore's Renaissance. Let's go take a closer look. Let's go. Alright, hi guys. I know it's been a while since I last posted a video. 2 weeks, I think, so I'm really sorry about that. I know that some of you are aware that I'm organizing LAmicroLUX, which is just taking up all of my time. And I also know a lot of you have signed up for the free watch event. And if you're new around here, I will leave a link with the information to LAmicroLUX in the description. And the good news is we are now up to 20 participating brands, so it should be a great 2-day watch event, so I hope to see you all there. So now let's get on with Bangalore's Renaissance, which is in 40 millimeters, 48 millimeters from lug to lug, 11.5 millimeters tall, and with a 20 millimeter lug width. And I think at first glance the Renaissance would appear to be a straight up dress watch, but I think the dimensions would suggest that it's a nice hybrid between a dress watch and a watch that can be worn casually in jeans, an Oxford shirt, or a t-shirt, which is exactly how I would wear the Renaissance. And I think the real physical superstar of this watch has to be the dial, because it is made up of 74 hand applied parts. And if we do the math, we can figure that 60 of the 74 would come from the minute markers, 12 from the hour markers. Now that adds up to 72 hand applied parts. And this is where it gets kind of sort of tricky to me, because is Bangalore considering the hour hand and minute hand as one, and then the seconds hand as the second? Because if so, then that would make up the 74 hand applied parts. If not, it would be 75 hand applied parts. So I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. And speaking of hands, the human hand only has 27 bones in it. So why did I just bring that up? Well, we'll just call it a fun fact. And while the physical superstar of the Renaissance is the dial, I think the real superstars of Bangalore Watch Company has to be the owners, NJ and his wife of Indian descent, because what they've created was the first entry-level luxury Indian heritage watch. We don't associate with quality watches, I guess, for lack of a better word, coming out of India. And the information directly from NJ is that they produce a lot of inexpensive watches in the $5 or $6 range. So what he wanted to create was a really nice and elegant and classic timepiece, including the presentation, which comes in a really nice lacquered box. And I think Bangalore Watch Company has succeeded with a really nice presentation. Some additional fun facts shared by NJ, who is from India, is the average income in India is just $2,000 a year, and that took me a while for me to wrap my head around that. India also has Rolex, Omega, and a Breitling boutique for the other half of the higher income groups. And I think when we think of products made in India, we don't necessarily associate quality with products that come from there. But that would be an inaccurate assumption. So for example, Armani has a factory in India, and I own an Armani leather jacket made in India. The same with Grenton Shoes, luxury English made shoes, who has a factory in India to help keep the costs down. The same with everybody's favorite store, World Market, who also furniture is made in India. And we don't think anything about this, but when it comes to watches, this is where it might be a little challenging, because a typical watch in India costs $5 or $6. So I think the Renaissance is a wonderful example of a quality product coming from Indian heritage. The finishing on the Renaissance is well done, and it's brushed with some polished accents, sapphire crystal, a genuine leather strap. It is actually calfskin, though it does look like it is alligator, but this is just embossed or printed. If there is one flaw about, or I wouldn't actually call it a flaw, I would say something that is not my preference, it would have to be the embossed leather strap. I agree that it is a really nice, elegant look for a watch like this, but my preference is not to have anything embossed. I would actually prefer to have maybe just the all calfskin all around, or a genuine alligator strap. But that would cut into the cost of the watch, or it would definitely raise the price of the watch. So I do understand why they went with that. And if I have to find a flaw like that to poke at the watch, then that probably says a lot about the watch, because there isn't a whole lot else to complain about the watch. Maybe if I'm reaching, I'm going to say that the crown could be maybe just a little bit bigger. It's fine for me, for someone with smaller fingers, but for anyone with bigger fingers, I could see that being an issue, though, again, that I am really nitpicking to try to find something to an otherwise really well-crafted watch. The dial on the Renaissance has a really nice sunburst effect. This version is in argentum, but it's also available in grand ivory and anthracite. And the same dial colors are also available in this rose gold PVD finishing. So Bangalore sent me a brand new watch. So I'm going to peel off the sticker for the case back right here, for you guys right now. So and there it goes, sort of like an unboxing. So what is this movement we're seeing? What is powering the Renaissance? Well, it is powered by the Miyota 9015, which is a very robust, reliable, high beat movement. And on the custom rotor, we can see that Bangalore Watch Company put their logo throughout the rotor. Usually on a custom rotor, there is just one image of the branding, but they printed it throughout the rotor, making it a really attractive and really cool looking rotor for this 9015 automatic movement. And here on the straps, I forgot to point that out earlier, these are self-adjusting pins, so no tools are required for changing out the straps. We just have to simply slide the pin over and put it back into these slots. The branding continues on the buckle. This is a really well-made watch by Bangalore Watch Company. The price of the Renaissance is $540, and I think that is a fair price for a really well-made watch. I think for a watch coming out of India, it is definitely a stud, a superstar. But I think one of the challenges that it's going to face is when it enters the big boys of the independent and micro brands, because there are a lot of great micro brands that are beloved and just so well respected. So it faces some stiff competition when we remove it from India, where there is no other competition. Does that mean that it's lesser quality than some of the beloved micro brands? Absolutely not. This is a really well-made timepiece that is on par with some of our most favorite and beloved micro brands. But we're going to have to get past the perception. And I think if we can do that and give the Renaissance or Bangalore Watch Company a chance, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. And while it's going to lose some of its senior status away from India as it enters the other sea of quality watches, it becomes sort of like a freshman, but it does sort of regain some of its varsity status when we start to break it down into the types of watches that it's up against. Typically, micro brands are sportier watches, chronographs, divers watches, pilot watches. So if we're looking for a watch, a more elegant hybrid dress casual watch, then I think Bangalore Watch Company's Renaissance stands out above a lot of the sportier watches. And in that case, the Renaissance is going to be a great option for us. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you the next time. And it's also available in the rose gold. Great Rich. On the rose gold finish.